This is my YouTube channel that I use to put my videos in. You can see I have, 34 videos I've made. I've tried to do one video a day. It takes about 4 hours to edit 3 minutes of video. I do voiceover. I've taught myself to do all this stuff. I can do a demo on that if you request it. So once I have my video, I can click on it. And here's the link I will use to put into Google Forms. So I'm going to just click that. I'll grab the link, edit, copy. I copied the link. I'm going to go to my Google Drive. Okay. What's a Google Form? All right. You go to your Google Drive, you click New, you go to More, slide over to Google Forms and click it. This is a new Google Form. Okay. This is now in your Google Drive. You will see it as Untitled Form in Google Drive. Okay, I'm going to add the title of this video, which is Art Video 34 Kitchen Textures. And if I click on the where it says Untitled Form here, now it automatically will title it that. Okay, objective goes right here for me. Artists will create textures with items from the kitchen. Okay. Now, if I want to put my video in here, I'm going to go over to this side. We have add a question, import questions, add title and description, add image, add video, and add section. I'm going to add video. So remember, I have that link. I have that link already on my clipboard. I'm going to paste it in there. I'm going to have to hit the search. It found it on YouTube. I'm going to select it and then select it at the bottom, and you can see now the video is in there. That's a live link that is in the form. I'm going to move this just under there. And then you can add your questions that you want your students to respond to under here. I do multiple choice. I always ask, was this fun? Okay. It says linear scale. I don't want linear scale. There's a lot of options here. Short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop down. You can explore all of this, but I mostly do paragraph or multiple choice. That's what I do for myself. All right, option 1. You click on the picture. Remember, your question was this fun? So, I have a folder with all of my remote learning things organized in it. Repeat sounds and images. So for this question, I always use the smiley face. My students are nonverbal, autistic, elementary students. So they have a caregiver helping them, and they need visual prompts. All right. Add an option. So they get to make a choice. That's a big deal. Yes or no, they get to choose. Did they have fun or did they not have fun? And their caregiver will just prompt them to say yes or no. I'm going to hit required for this question so that they can't skip it when they open their form. And then I'm going to, let's see, add a question. There we go. We have another question that we can add here. I'm going to ask them what textures did you use? Okay, and instead of multiple choice, I'm going to do paragraph. That allows them to type in a few things, not necessarily write a paragraph, but just type in a few items that they used. Short answer can be a little too short, so I just give them plenty of space. This is also required so that they can't skip it. I'm going to add another question. This question is going to be for caregivers' feedback. So, caregivers, what did your artist respond to? I want to know what they responded to. I want to know. You can ask the caregivers anything you want. So, I'm going to ask them a few questions. Caregivers, what did your artist respond to? Positively to. What was difficult? What do you want more of? Okay. This is also required. Now, we're going to set this form up a little bit. We're going to give it some little punch. So I go to the palette. I'm going to choose an image to go to the top. At the top, you can choose any of these given options. I don't choose those. I'm actually going to upload my own. So I'm going to go to this folder specifically for the video I made for this. I'm going to drop in that background. Done. This is going to design this particular lesson, okay? So whenever I go to my Google Drive, when I see this, I'm gonna remember which lesson this is. Because it's a visual cue and I'm a visual person, and it helps me, and I think it'll help the parents too. Okay, then we're going to set up, close that. We're gonna go to settings, and these three categories allow us to set up specific things. For example, collect email addresses. That way, when I go to responses, it'll show me the email addresses which have the student's name in them, so that I can get an overview or a bird's eye view of who did what, and I know who I'm looking at because I recognize the name in the I'll show you more on that in a minute. Okay, so collect email addresses, restrict it to New York City Department of Education, limit to one response. I could save this, but I have two more things to do. I need to go to presentation. I don't really need to show progress bar. If you have a bunch of questions, like say 15 questions, it might be nice to show progress bar because then your students can see how they're progressing. Shuffle question order. I mean, not really worried about people cheating. Okay, confirmation message. This is on texture, so whenever they finish and complete their assignment and they turn it in, they'll get this little prompt that says, great work creating textures. Great work creating textures. And then I'm going to go to quizzes. Yes, I want to make this a quiz. That allows me to collect the grade and information and check the work under grade. Immediately after each submission, turning on locked mode allows you to lock it. Like if the student is working on this particular assignment, it'll lock them into this screen, and they won't be able to go to games or other things until they're done doing the work. It helps with distraction. I don't need to do that because their caregivers are helping them. Immediately after each submission, later after manual review, that's your choice. I leave immediately. Respondents can see missed questions, correct answers, and point values. Yes for point values. These don't matter. I leave them checked. I could uncheck them, but I don't. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Now, I now have this in my Google Drive. There it is. Okay, that can now be used in the classroom. So I can go to my first classroom. I personally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classes. Each class has 8 to 12 students. Like I said, they're all autistic nonverbal students. So this one, say for example, I'm going to post this as a new assignment. I have a morning message in a folder that I always start with, and that is under daily morning message. I open that. It's just a Word file. I just copy and paste it. Paste. So there it is. Now it says Art Video 11. I'm actually doing Art Video 34, and it's not straight lines, it's kitchen textures, so I changed that. And then I'm going to add the link. So I go to my Google Drive. There is my new link. I add that link. Now this goes to all 8 classes. If I had made multiple forms, I might want to just maybe cater the questions, harder questions, to the higher classes, or simpler questions to the lower classes. But in this case, it's sort of a blanket response. I'm teaching mostly to the caregiver with visuals and time frames to engage the student with the caregiver. I'm really, really dependent on the caregiver for this stuff. So I'm trying to make it entertaining and fun and all positive feedback. If you participate, you get all the points. Okay, so this would then get posted, and that would be in the classroom feed. So student would, or caregiver would wake up, log on, and they would see everything that is new for the day in that feed. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this assignment is archived. In order to archive the lesson into my classroom, the art room, exists within each classroom. For example, you have stream, classwork, people, grades. I go to classwork. All right, so I would also have to post the new video here, which you can see I already have it there, and it's got a due date. In order to post that, I would go to create assignment, and then I would put my title in there. I could just go to my Google Drive to grab that title. copy, paste it. I put the objective here. Again, the objective is right underneath. Again, just copy and paste. And then again, you have to go to your Google Drive to find that lesson. There it is, add it. Okay, and then again, I wanted to go to every single classroom. So again, what I'm doing is I'm putting this in my classroom within each classroom. What we did before was to put it in the live stream of the classroom for that day. This archives it and puts it in the classroom. Assignments. So you have to make an assignment. Now the point values, I think, are 6 points for that. The due date, I always just, whatever's highlighted, I give them a week. And it's not that it's due in a week, it's mainly I want it to show up in the feed again as a reminder for those people that haven't done the assignment. I'm trying to get more reminders out there for people who have not participated. Right now I'm getting about 50% participation. We have 40 students. I'm getting about an average of 18 to 20. Okay, so due date and then topic. In order for it to be archived under art, I'm going to have to put the topic as art. I don't have a rubric here. Then I would just hit assign. I'm not going to do it because I already have it in there. I'm just showing you how to do it. So once I hit assign, it would go right here. Now that's showing up as a draft. I don't need that. I'm going to delete it because it's, like I said, I already did it. I was just showing you. Okay, now let's look at, let's go to the classroom and see how this shows up. How do we collect the information? We go to grades, okay? Up at the top, here are my students, and up at the top, Art Video 34, you can see nobody has done this yet. That's yesterday's assignment. Nobody in that class has done that. I don't have a lot of participation in this class, but here's an example. If I were going to grade, if I was going to grade this, I already graded this, but if I were going to grade it, I would go here. If it was ungraded, it would have a 6, and it would indicate that it was ungraded. So I would go in, I always just give them all the points, throw a 6 in there, and then I would hit return, and it would send it to them, and they would get a response from their submission. And that also shows me who participated that day. And the way that I determine that is I would go to this lesson in the morning, the next day. I would go to responses. Let me show you one I do have responses on. Okay, let's go to this one. All right, responses. I have 5 responses, all right? So this shows me all the students that responded and what date they responded on. So if I'm taking attendance for today, it's the 2nd, I would want to see responses that said the 1st from yesterday. And then I write that on a piece of paper, and then student attendance. The way I do this, the way I do my attendance is like, I'll change the date, 6/1/2020 art attendance. I'll put all the names of the people that participated. Then I take a screenshot and I date it, and that gets put into this file, which is all attendance with you can see every day's date. And it's for the previous day. Now these files get put into every morning, the way we do it, we do teams. I just dump it into teams. The reason I do that colored background, it makes it easy for the teachers to see, oh, okay, this is art. Every day it's the same colors. It's fairly big, it's an image. They can just give attendance for those students that are participating in art and maybe didn't participate with them, so they'll still get their attendance. Okay, and then I keep it as evidence. Now the great thing about Google Forms is that it keeps track of grades. It keeps track of responses. I have really funny responses, like I just said, how did your artist react to this video? That was the feedback part. Somebody laughed, gave some emojis. They said they laughed. David was laughing. She laughed the whole time. Now, nobody can see each other's responses. These are responses that are only I see in a grouping. So any patterns, I know, like, oh wow, they really enjoyed this one because everybody laughed, or they said they loved it, or it was cool or something. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do more of that. People need to laugh right now, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so then we get, I can go back a couple of days, say somebody didn't participate on yesterday's assignment or the day before. I can go all the way back to video 31, or I can go all the way back to video 25. I'll usually go back as far as 5 days to see, if I got responses, trickling in responses from the last couple of days. And I usually get like maybe 4 people will have done the assignment the day that I post it, and then like when I go back and check when I'm taking attendance, I'll have like maybe another 4 people or 5 people that did prior assignments for that day of attendance. And then that's why I have to write it on a piece of paper and then do my attendance the way I do it, because it's sort of not everybody's doing the assignment by the day for the day, and I'm not holding people accountable to particular assignments and due dates the way that we would if we were in the regular classroom, because this is not exactly the time to do that. Okay, I hope this was helpful.